Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be doing a Scream inspired Sims thing, basically. So if you didn't already know, basically Scream is my favorite movie franchise. I think, honestly, I'm very indecisive. I go between that Finalizing and Saw like every second, but I thought, you know, the new Saw, no, wrong, wow, I'm good at this. The new Scream movie came out and I watched it twice because I kind of loved it, and it came out and I was like, oh, you know what? I want to make Scream-inspired Sims. So I decided to just stick with the OGs. So, I mean, I'm assuming most of you have watched the original, and if not, I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil this for a second. But basically, I'm making Sidney Prescott, Billy Loomis, and Stu. What is Stu's last name? I don't even know. He has one, though. But basically, this honestly took me. I had to try and make these Sims so many times. For some reason, I could not for the life of me figure out what the hell I was doing with their faces, because I wanted to try and make them look a little bit like their characters, but also like not completely, because it's kind of boring if I do that, you know. So I just wanted to make them like inspired by the Sims. No, not the, no, I'm an idiot. Inspired by the characters, and because I love them. And Sidney is actually my favorite character in anything ever, like of all time. I just love her so much. She has such an amazing character, and if you haven't watched the Scream movies, go ahead and do it. Honest to God, I love them so much. Like, all of them are amazing. I've watched all of them many times now, many times. I don't know what it is, man. There's just something. There's something. I love them. But yeah, I thought I would do these three just because I was trying to think like who else is iconic, and I was originally gonna do Sidney, Dewey, and Gail, but I was like, are they? I kind of don't know how I'd make their outfits and stuff look that, you know, kind of relevant, or like kind of look like the characters. So I thought instead I would just scrap that idea and literally just do the original movie and do the two killers, and then obviously the main character. Yes, the killers are Billy and Stu. If you haven't seen it, I am sorry. It's too late now. I've already spoiled it for you. But I mean, it came out like, I don't even know how many years ago, but like a lot of years ago. I feel as though it's okay for me to spoil that now. But basically, Sidney is amazing. I love her character arc. So she basically goes from this like final girl, like she's very much like, you know, just not very, she's kind of just reliant on Billy, and she's very much just like all over her. Like, she doesn't really have much of a personality in the first like half of the film. Like, she does, but it's a lot more like quiet, and she's not like bad boy or anything. And then as it goes on throughout the films, she's just like insanely cool. Like, even in Scream 5, the new one, she is so cool, and she's like, wow, I love her. I want to be Sidney Prescott. But yeah, so I decided to go with a bit more of a like a later Sidney vibe, like with the outfit, because originally she didn't really wear stuff like this. I don't even know if she wears anything like this, but I feel like it fits the bad boy vibes. She's always just really cool, and I just love her, and I love Sidney Prescott. I do. But yeah, I really liked how she turned out. I feel like she kind of looks a little bit like the character as well, which I wasn't really trying to do that much, but it kind of ended up happening, and I was like, yep, sure, I will do that. But obviously I made all these Sims as females. I do not make male Sims. We know this. I'm not good at it. And I also, I don't know, I just prefer making female Sims like way more. We know this, you know. Oh, I also added on Sidney, I added some like scar into her face. I also did that the same with Billy and Stu as well, just because I feel like it I don't know, it fits the vibes, you know. I was kind of imagining these two now to be like the end of the film, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, you know, when they're revealed to be the killers, this is what they look like, if that makes sense. If you haven't seen these movies, this is the most confusing creative ever, I swear to God. But you honestly should watch them. I literally love them so much. Like, Scream sponsors me right now. I'm kidding, that wouldn't ever happen, but it's so cool. I literally watched the new one twice in cinema. It's just, man, I love the films. There's just something about them, you know, the 90s feel and just everything, really. I just love them so much, and I very much enjoy the Ghostface character. I so want to get like some sort of Ghostface merch. I have like the Ghostface mask like just sat in my wardrobe, which is kind of embarrassing, but but I do kind of want to get a Ghostface like a hoodie. That'd be kind of, you know, no one cares, but I honestly do, and so I thought I'd tell you. But yeah, so now this is obviously Stu. So Stu is a lot harder to make than the other two, I found, because I don't know what it is. Like, his character is iconic, but I feel like his face is so specific to Stu. Like, I could not picture anyone else playing Stu other than Matthew Lillard. So trying to make the character was so difficult. You can see here, I went through so many different ideas. Like, I was struggling. I was going through every different hair, everything. It took me so long to make Stu. I was not having it. For some reason, it was not going well for me. I just felt like the other two look quite like their characters. But not like completely, but they just look like they're clearly inspired. But I feel like Stu just didn't look like that. So it was just, it was a struggle. It was a struggle and a half, let's just say that. But I ended up going with a mullet, which, if you know me, I have quite a bias for because I literally have a mullet myself. But it just, I don't know, I felt like it fit Stu really well having a mullet. I felt like he'd totally have one, you know. And if it was, I guess, the 80s still. But he just... I don't know, she just felt kind of Stu-like in the air. Not completely. I'm not completely happy with her. I think she's the weakest of the three. But maybe it's just because I love Stu so much, so I couldn't get his essence across. Like, his face is so distinctive and his outfits and everything are just so distinctive that trying to make a sim version was like, nah, not having this, not having this, not having this. But yeah, I ended up going with this kind of a sim, and I think she turned out really cool. It's just, I don't know, there's still something, there's definitely something missing still, but yeah, alas. She just honestly looks like one of my sims. Like, she just looks like one of my sims. I just decided to just scratch the idea of like making a sim based on him, and well, it's not obviously based on him, but making the facial feature look like him. And I literally just was like, nah, you know what, it's too late for that. We're just gonna completely go down my sim route because I could not figure out what I was doing. But I gave her this really cool jumper. It's sick. I love it. I feel like it's definitely something Stu would wear with like the long sleeves and like the stripes and the colours and everything. I also gave her little sunglasses on her head because I don't know, I feel like she would totally do that as well. And just these cute jeans and some trainers, and also, yeah, I did also give them like their traits and stuff as well. I think I gave Stu like erratic and stuff. I mean, obviously, if you've seen the original, which obviously you should, Stu is basically like Billy's the mastermind, you know. Billy's the mastermind behind the whole thing, but Stu's kind of just there along for the ride. There's no real reason why he's the killer. He's just kind of there for the lols, and you know what? It's you know, cool. So yeah, I was just like, I'm just gonna kind of stick with those traits, try and make, you know, the vibes right, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. But anyways, finally here is Billy. So Billy, I found Billy really difficult to make. This is, I don't know if this is like an unpopular opinion, I don't know if people say this often, but to me, Billy and Sidney, like the actors and also the characters, look so much alike, and it honestly freaks me out because obviously they're dating in the first one, so whenever they're together I'm like, you two literally look so similar. Like, I don't know what it is, maybe it's their mouths, I don't know, but there's definitely something that they look really similar. So when I was making this sim, I was like, this literally looks like Sidney. Like, I'm literally just making the first sim I made. So I was like, how am I going to change this to look a bit more like Billy and less so like Sidney? But it was kind of a challenge. I feel like in the end they still do quite look similar. But it was just, I don't know what it is, man. They do look really similar to me. I feel like maybe I'm just... maybe I don't know, I'm not, I just feel like they just really do look similar. So it's kind of a challenge. But again, I gave him like the blood across the face, you know, kind of like being beaten up and stuff, because obviously Sydney's a bad butt and she beats the hell out of it. Well, that's not actually true. Well, no, she definitely does. She shoots him all the time, so you know. And as for the hair, oh my good golly, when I tell you I was here for so long trying to figure out the hair, because I really wanted to stick with like the whole that obviously his iconic hair, which is obviously like the middle part with like the e-boy hair, you know what I mean, with like the middle part and stuff, like the 90s kind of hair. But I also didn't like, I don't have anything like that, so I like really struggled on what to do for the hair. I'm not too happy with how the hair ended up, like the hair I ended up choosing, but it was like the best of the bad bunch, you know. It wasn't a bad bunch, it's just none of them worked. I was originally going for this hair on it right now, and I felt like it fit the vibes. I don't know what it is, but I just felt like, even though it's not right, I just felt like it fit the killer vibes. I don't know, but I ended up changing it out to a different hair that looked a bit more like a middle part, just because I felt like it fit in more. But I kind of wish I'd stuck with this hair, to be honest, because I do think it's really cool. And I don't know, I also decided to obviously go with like the white tank top, because that is very much iconic Billy behavior, wearing like a tank top like that. But I ended up swapping out a little bit just to make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I'm really happy with how they all turned out. I definitely think I think Sydney's my favourite, which is not shocking because she's my favourite character, so it kind of makes sense. But again, go watch it if you haven't already, guys. Scream is so good. They're all so good. Go watch the new one as well. I don't even know if it's still in cinema, but it's so good. It's so good. I loved it. But anyways, have a great day, besties. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.